Dio, everyone. Before we start, I have an important reminder for you. Deadline to complete this course is December 10th, and by that day, about the all activities must be uploaded to the platform. If you have any questions, please check the schedule for guidance or feel free to ask me for help. Got it? Great. Let's begin. Today we'll be exploring three very useful topics in English: the second conditional, the third conditional, and future time clauses. Don't worry, we'll go step by step and take our time. About it. Let's begin with second to it ready. Let's go. The second conditional is used to talk about hypothetical situations, things that aren't real right now or probably won't happen in the future. It's a way to imagine what if scenarios. The structure is simple. Talk about the if thus past simple followed by would flex base verb. For example, if I won the lottery, I would travel the world. Going to talk about it. This means I haven't won the lottery yet, but I'm imagining what I'd do if I did. Uses of the second conditional one use is to talk about imaginary or hypothetical situations. For instance, if I had $1 million, I would buy a mansion. I don't have $1 million now, but I'm imagining what I'd do if I did. Another example, if she knew how to drive, she would buy a car. She doesn't know how to drive right now, but if she did, she'd buy one. We also use the second conditional to give advice. For example, if I were you, I would study harder for the exam. This is a polite way to say you should study harder. Another example about the if he were taller, he would play basketball. He isn't tall enough now, but if he were, he could play basketball. Common mistakes now. Let's talk about a common mistake. Some people say, if I will win the lottery, I would travel the world. That's incorrect. We should never use the future tense with after if in this conditional. The correct way is, if I won the lottery, I would travel the world. Remember, after if we use the past simple, and in the second part we use would plus base verb. Practice time. Let's practice with some examples. If I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. Right now, I don't have $1 million, but I'm imagining it. If I were you I would quit smoking. This is a polite way to give advice. If I were the president, I would lower taxes. I'm not the president, but this is what I imagine I do. They would stay longer if they had more time. At the moment, they don't have enough time, but if they did, they stay. If I had more free time, I could travel around the world. Right now, I don't have much free time, but if I did, traveling would be an option. Let's pause here. Think about your own what if scenario. For example, if I lived in Paris, I would talk about what would you do. Take a moment, create your own sentence using the second conditional, and when you're ready, share it with me out there. How's it going? Not too hard, right? Once we're comfortable with this, we'll move on to the next topic. Essential tool for talking about hypothetical situations in the past. Talk about this conditional helps us reflect on past events and imagine how things might have been different. The structure of the third conditional is simply if flux past perfect followed by would have past participle. For example, if I had known about the meeting, I would have attended. In this scenario, I didn't know about the meeting, so I didn't attend. Let's talk about it, but I'm imagining what would happen if I had. Use cases. One use of the third conditional is to talk about hypothetical situations in the past. For example, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. Here the speaker reflects on the fact that they didn't study hard enough and therefore didn't pass. Another example, if they had left earlier, they would have caught the train. This sentence means they left late and missed the train. We also use third conditional to express regrets or missed opportunities. For instance, if I had taken that job, I would have been happier. This reflects regret about not taking the job and imagining a happier outcome if they had. Another example, if she had listened to my advice, she wouldn't have made that mistake. This implies that the mistake happened because she didn't listen and the speaker regrets this. A common mistake. Now let's talk over some common mistakes to avoid. Make sure you use the past perfect tense after if talk about the and follow it would have past participle in the main clause. For example, it's incorrect to say if I knew about the meeting I would have attended. The correct way is if I had known about the meeting, I would have attended. About the people often mix up the past simple and past perfect tenses, which can lead to confusion in the third conditional. In practice examples, let's look at some examples. If I had got a gold medal, I would have been happy. This means I didn't get a gold medal about it, but I'm imagining that if I had, I would have felt happy. If the weather had been good, we would have gone water skiing. We say about this flex on a missed opportunity caused by bad weather. Your turn, take a moment to think about a past situation where things didn't go as planned. For instance, if I had prepared more, I would have talked about what would you have done differently? Take a moment to create your own sense using the third conditional, and when you're ready, share it with me. The third conditional is a fantastic way to reflect on the what ifs of the past, talk about them, helping us explore missed opportunities or express regrets about things that didn't happen. Take your time practicing, and we'll move forward once you're ready. Expressions like when, after, before, as soon as, until, once, why, while, and the time. The structure of future time clauses typically involves a main clause with a future verb and a subordinate time clause with a present verb. For example, I will call you when I arrive home. This means the call will take place at the moment I arrive home. Future time clauses are used to express actions that will happen in the future once a certain condition is met. For instance, I will start cooking after I finish my homework. Here, the action of cooking will occur in the future, but only after completing the homework. Talk about another example. She will call me when she gets home. This shows that the call will happen when she gets home. These clauses are also useful talking about plans and intentions. For example, as soon as I get my salary, I will buy a new phone. This expresses a plan that depends on the future event of receiving the salary. Another example, we'll go on vacation, but once we save enough money, This means the vacation will happen after saving enough money. Let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid when using future time clauses. Talk about it. Remember, we use the present simple tense in the time clause, not the future tense. For example, it's incorrect to say, I will call you when I will arrive home. The correct way is, I will call you when I arrive home. Many people mistakenly use the future tense in the time clause, but it's essential to stick with the present tense for accuracy. Let's review some examples to clarify this concept. When I am 69, I will retire. This means that retiring will happen in the future, specifically when the person turns 69. As soon as you arrive, call me. This indicates that the call should take place immediately after arrival. Until you have all finished, nobody can leave. Here, leaving is conditional on everyone finishing first. Before you come, you should text me. This suggests that the action of texting should occur before arriving. Once you are living together, there might be disagreements. This means that disagreements could arise in the future after the condition of living together is met. Let's highlight this one more time. The incorrect when I will be 69, I will retire. Correct when I am 69, I will retire. It's a subtle difference, but it makes all the difference in proper usage. Future time clauses are vital for discussing plans, schedules, talk about it, and actions that depend on future events. They allow us to clarify the sequence and conditions of future actions, making communication much clearer and more precise. To wrap up this session, let's briefly revisit today's key lessons. The second conditional helps us talk about hypothetical situations in the present or future, the allowing us to imagine different scenarios and give advice. The third conditional allows us to reflect on past events, express regrets, and imagine different outcomes based on past actions. And finally, future time clauses help us express plans, intentions, and actions that will occur in the future once certain conditions are met. These structures are invaluable for enriching your communication skills. Now they empower you to express complex ideas and engage in deeper conversations with confidence. Take some time to practice these concepts in your conversations and writing. You'll soon find yourself more comfortable and fluent in using them. Talk about it. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed today's class. Let's continue practicing and learning together.